afternoon. I'm totally digging this song right now. Have you guys heard this song? This is Natalie Grant's. Hey Lori, how are you? Isn't it so good? I love that song. Love it. Okay, so this video is prompted, like I told you, all my videos are usually prompted by something. This one is prompted by someone at church asking me kind of how I structure my days, like what do I do? And I get this question a lot, and I don't want to sound like I have it all together, because trust me, I do not have it all together. If you've been to my house, especially if you showed up unexpectedly, you will know that this woman does not have it all together. But, you know, I've learned some things over the years. We are on our 6th, 7th year of homeschooling, and I feel like this is the first year I've really felt like we have a good system. So take that as encouragement if you are a homeschooling mama, because 7 years in, and I just now feel like, I have a decent handle on it this year, but you know, it could change in the next week or next year. Totally different. Every year there's a different dynamic. But I did kind of want to address this question specifically because I also work from home, and a lot of people ask, like, how do you handle all that? Like, are you neglecting one thing or another? And the first thing that I have to say is my family is incredible. My husband is extremely supportive of homeschooling as well as of my position with Young Living. And my children are fantastic, and thank you to all of the women who told me over the years that you should train your children up when they're young, because that is paying off like you would not believe. And I don't want it to sound like they're, you know, slaving away all day, but my children are extremely helpful around the house. They cook probably half of our meals, at least, or they help with all of them for sure. But they can sufficiently cook almost everything that we have in the house, my older two, who are 10 and 11. So I would encourage you to train your kids to do that. But I really wanted to come on and just kind of give an idea of how my day looks, because people ask all the time, like, what do you do all day? So when I get up in the morning, I set my alarm for about 5. I usually roll out of bed sometime between 5 and 6, depending on when I went to bed the night before. I aim to go to bed by about 10. So if I go to bed at 10, I can usually get up around 5 or 5:30 without any issue. So I get up early, and my kids generally stay in bed until 6:30 or 7. At the very least, they have to be quiet until about 7. And I always have asked them, please be quiet until everyone's awake, just to be respectful. So I understand that's not feasible for everyone, but in our house, that's kind of just always been our thing. Like, I want my kids to sleep as long as possible, so please be quiet if they're sleeping. So that being said, if they do get up, they just read quietly or start on their schoolwork or something. But so from whenever I get up, 5:36 till about 7 or 7:30, that's primarily coffee and time in the Word. So that's when I read my Bible. That's when I do any kind of devotional reading that I'm doing. And then at some point between 7 and 8, I typically transition to a little bit of something else, business, or I like to make sure that I'm well informed about our products. So I'll read through the reference guide or something like that. But that's my morning. So as I'm doing that, the kids are usually prepping breakfast, and we aim to have breakfast between 8:30 and 9. And then we try to start school at 9:30. So at 9:30, I stole this idea from a blogger. Her name's Sarah McKenzie, and she has a couple. I think her website that I can remember is called readaloudrevival.org or .com. You could Google it. But Read Aloud Revival, like we talked about reading aloud that we're doing this year a couple weeks ago. That's where I was encouraged to do that first. And she did a series of videos recently on how they homeschool. And one of the things that she mentioned was that they have a morning time, and they do a certain set of things together in the morning. And when she was explaining it, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I need. Like, I've been looking for something, like some way to make this work, but I've never really found something that works well for us. So we implemented this year. So we are now, like, I don't know, 9 or 10 weeks into school, and we're doing morning time about 3 to 4 days a week. I aim for 4, sometimes it's 3. But basically what we do during morning time is we learn poetry, we learn a new hymn every week. I'm not usually learning them, but my kids are learning them. And we do, at the beginning of the year, we were doing like our address and phone number, emergency information for the younger kids who still didn't have that down. So we would say that every morning as memorization. We're doing the books of the Bible. We sing the song most mornings. And then the hymn, honestly, is like the best part of my day. It sets the mood so well. And I mean, hymns are just incredibly rich in theology, and the doctrine is just like oozing out of them. So even if our morning has been just absolutely crazy, singing a hymn really helps. Like everyone typically calms. It's very helpful for me. So so about 9:30 to 10-ish, we do that. It doesn't usually take a whole half an hour, which is great because we don't usually start at 9:30. And then from whatever time we finish till noon, so it's usually about 10 o'clock to noon, we do rotations. So again, I stole this from Sarah McKenzie. So I plan about half an hour with each of my kids that are school age. So I have 4 school age kids. And this is the time that we do anything that they are needing help with in school on their own that day. So for some of my kids, we primarily do math during that time. For some, we work on writing, or, you know, if they need specific help with their science or something like that, then we do that together in the morning. And periodically, like if they really don't need help, I'll pop on my laptop and do a little bit of work. But for the most part, that's my morning is set up for my kids that way. And then the rotations that are happening when I'm not with that child is they're either doing a chore or they're helping with the younger 2 kids. So everybody gets a rotation with the younger kids, and everybody gets a rotation of chores, and everybody gets a rotation with mom. So this has worked really well for us so far this year. I plan to continue it as long as it is still working because I really like it. And I think the kids like it too. I've seen some neat relationships kind of forming with the toddlers and the older kids. So that has been neat. So then we do lunch usually around 12 or 12:30 or sometimes 1. We shoot for 12. So lunch again, oftentimes my kids will help with that. I'll pop on the computer and do a little bit more work depending on what it is and how much work is needed in the kitchen. And then at 12:30 or whenever we finish lunch is usually when we read aloud. And so I'll read a chapter or 2 or sometimes 3 if we have extra time. And I think I mentioned already that we're currently reading through a series of unfortunate events. So I think we're on book 8 or 9 or 10. I don't know. Anyway, we're still reading through those and we still love them and they're still hysterical. So I still recommend them. So that's right after lunch. And then as soon as we're done reading, my littles go down for naps. So that's my younger 2 who are not school aged and they don't always sleep, but they always go to their room. So about an hour and a half to 2 hours we have of quiet. And so at the beginning of the week, we kind of load up on anything that's teacher intensive so that as the week goes on, I have less and less that I have to do in the afternoon with the kids. So primarily what we have that's teacher intensive right now is our writing curriculum, our history, and our science. And then we're transitioning into a different English with my younger 2 kids. So that's going to be coming up after Thanksgiving. We'll be doing that. But all those things that it has to be relatively quiet for, we do in the early afternoon. And then whenever we're finished with that, until my kids get up, or sometimes through that time if they're relaxed and calm, then I will do some more work. So work for me is keeping in touch with my team. So making sure that, you know, everyone is doing well, feeling like they're, you know, plugged in, they have good support for using their products, keeping up on my Facebook page, sending out notes or doing calls to people. That type of thing is basically what I do. I have really fun relationships. That's my job. So I do that in the afternoon. I plan classes and stuff like that. And I do live videos, obviously. So that's afternoon, and then we do dinner, and then if I'm going to do a class in the evening, or if I'm going to do a class, I will do it in the evening or on the weekend. So that allows my husband time to be with the kids. I talk with my hands a lot, you guys. That allows my husband time to be with the kids and me time to get out, and so that gives me kind of a little bit of an outlet because I do enjoy getting out of the house, but I find it challenging with all of my children. So So that gives me that in the evening and on the weekends. So as to, I mean, that's basically our day. And then my husband and I hang out after we put our kids to bed until like 9:30 or 10, and then we go to sleep. And that's my life. My kids are squawking in the other room. And it's nap time. So you guys already heard how I feel about that. So specific things that are getting me through, though, that's what everyone really wants to know. Like, oh, it's nice to hear how your day goes, but tell us what you're actually using for real. Like, what's the secret? So secret number 1, coffee. All the coffee. So much coffee. Today I had an entire pot of coffee. Hey! Yeah, a whole pot of coffee. And I have no shame in that. I don't have any problem with caffeine. So, coffee, so much coffee. I didn't bring coffee to the video because, like I said, I had a whole pot of coffee. So, I thought that was probably enough. Chocolate. I made these the other day. I just pulled one out of the freezer. I know they look like poo, but they're amazing. So this is chocolate, and in the middle is coconut oil and peppermint vitality essential oil, and what else is in there? Oh, vanilla, I think. I can't even remember. Anyway, basically no ingredients, but it is super delicious, and it's going in my freezer. I mean, it's been in my freezer, but I just eat some every once in a while. So those are yummy. So if you come over, well, there won't be any left, but if you come over sometime and there are, you're welcome to have one. So coffee, chocolate, Jesus for real. I am not joking when I say this. I don't know how you people do it without Jesus. Like, he is my rock, and I could not do this whole homeschooling thing without him. I mean, seriously, like multiple times a day, I stop and say, Jesus, please protect my children. Because you know what? I'm human. And a lot of people say, oh, I could never do that. I don't have the patience, or I don't have the fill in the blank people. I don't have it either. Homeschooling parents are not saints. We just rely on Jesus. That's all. If you're a homeschooling parent and you don't have Jesus, I need to know some of your secrets because I need some more good secrets, but I'm good with Jesus too. So, my kids are still screaming. Just in case you were wondering, this is real life. In fact, my husband said to me the other day, you should do a Facebook Live sometime when the kids are all screaming and running around. I was like, oh, like usual. So anyway, so Jesus. And for people who have asked what I'm reading right now, I try to do in the morning, I try to read like 5 chapters somewhere in the Bible, and I keep track on this little chart. You don't have to have a chart, but I kind of like to know where I've read. So sometimes I read over stuff I've read before. Obviously, I prefer the New Testament. I find it easier to understand, fewer big long names, stuff like that. So I try to read about 5 chapters, sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes I wake up late, doesn't happen in the morning, but it sure sets my day better if it does. I have read through this several times. This is phenomenal. It has 30 daily readings. They're super short. Like, that's one day. I think everything is backwards on here, right? I think it is. Anyway, it's called a gospel primer by Milton Vincent. I've read through that several times. Right now I'm reading One-to-One Bible Reading by David Helm. This is an instructional on why and how to read the Bible with another person. Very interesting. In fact, let me read you something from this book that I found fascinating. This has nothing to do with how I do my day, but y'all are here, so I'm just going to read it to you. Okay, so, like I said, this is about why and how to read with another person. So they did this study. Who is they? I don't remember. Oh, from a researcher, Ed Stetzer. I don't know who that is, but let's just pretend we know who it is. I know, I'm sorry, it's backwards. Okay, listen to this. We asked a total of 1,020-something unchurched people, and we compared them to a sample of 500 older unchurched. So this is over 30. One of the questions that we asked them to agree or disagree with was, I'd be willing to study the Bible if a friend asked me to. Among 20-somethings, 61% said yes. And among their older counterparts of 30 or above, 42% said yes. That was very surprising to me. These are unchurched people. So, anyway, interesting read. You should get it. I'm pretty sure someone's crying. Can you guys entertain yourself for a minute? Here, I'll turn on the music. Just keep listening. Hold on. Seriously, there were people screaming and fighting. I have real life. People fight at my house. I try to stay out of it. Oh, another thing that gets me through, for real, is my Ning Charade. Have we talked about this? If you've not heard my story, oh, you're bouncing. Stop it. Sorry, eventually you'll stop. If you've not heard my story about this, 2 things that changed my life. Well, we're not talking about Jesus. 2 things that changed my life physically. 1, removing gluten from my diet, and 2, adding Ning Charade. So gluten made me exhausted, and some kind of nutrient that's in Ning Charade that I didn't have made me exhausted. So those 2 things have seriously changed my life. Like, so much more energy than I used to have. So come over and try that. It's delicious. Okay. So aside from that, what was I going to show you? Oh, I even wrote it down. Oh, my headphones. Okay, if you are a mom, and especially if you work from home, this is actually the worst pair of headphones I own, but headphones are the best, especially the microphone. You got to have a microphone on your headphones. So I seriously get so much done with headphones, like listen to podcasts, I listen to business calls. It's the only way that I can hear anything, to be quite honest with you, because it's always like this. It's crazy, and my kids are fighting and screaming, and I mean, I do try to address that, obviously, when it's going on, but headphones are like, they're the best. So like this afternoon, I have a video conference call at 4:30, which I will mute myself for because thankfully I don't have to be speaking, but I will listen to it with my headphones on because otherwise I won't be able to hear a darn thing. So headphones are great. I also use them in the car. I do a lot of calls when I'm in the car, and so I don't have to be like puttering with my phone while I'm driving. Don't do that. Don't putter with your phone while you're driving, especially if you have your kids in the car. Public service announcement. But Siri is fantastic, and I love her because I can just go, Siri, call this person, and then she usually picks the wrong person, or she says their name wrong, but at least she's entertaining, and eventually I get the right person, and it's all well. So anyway, headphones are the best. And my oils, obviously. These 2 are my favorite. There are 4 oils that I use every single morning. There are more oils that I use throughout the day. And I've talked about this, and I still have not had time to do one of these, but I do actually want to do a video on using the oils for emotional balancing, because like I said before, I had no idea that this was a thing when I first bought my oils. Like, totally did not have that intention to use them at all, and it has been very remarkable for me. So there's 4 that I use every day, but these are just the 2 that are sitting here. Stress Away and frankincense. In fact, I think I was putting them on when I started this. Stress Away goes all over my wrists. Frankincense goes all over my face. So 2 of my favorites. But seriously, lots of oils here, and they do seriously make a change in my emotional health. So oils are huge. Okay, no one's saying anything, so I'm assuming that you're either all bored, you've all left, or you're all tracking. So I don't have too much else to say. I will say, though, that when I read, I'm a huge fan of buying my books because I'm kind of a nerd and I always go back over and read my books again. And I love highlighters, like a lot. I really love highlighters. And they're so helpful because my brain is always working at what I figure is like 60% because the screaming and such. And so that way I can go back through and see, oh, that was the important part because I forgot what it was already because my kids are screaming. So, chocolate, Ning Charade, coffee, Jesus, oils, and my family. My family is amazing. So thank you guys for joining me. Does anyone have any questions that I can't answer because I don't have all the answers? I love you too. Thank you for joining me. We'll hang out for a second. Seriously, sorry about the interlude. There was like some serious cat fighting going on out there. Almost choked on that. On camera. Anyone have? I don't even know what the lag is. Like, should I wait around for 5 minutes or like 10 seconds? Is it like Periscope? No idea. Does anyone still use Periscope? I couldn't really get into it. I tried. I did. Okay. Well, cool. Nobody has anything to say. That's great. So that's how I do it all. I don't do it all. I should add though, like things that I don't do are like worry about what other people think. For real. I just don't care. I don't take a shower every day. I don't. I'm sorry if that's gross. I just don't feel the need to take a shower every day. If I'm not working out, I don't care. No, my kids for real fight. Yeah, no, someone was sitting out there when I, left for the interlude, crying like a toddler because someone else was clawing at them and scratching them. Like literally fighting. I mean, yeah, they do fight. I don't know where they get it. I don't usually fight like that in front of them. Just kidding. But really, like, I don't take time caring what other people like. I don't spend a ton of time, like, you're gonna laugh at me. I really don't spend a ton of time, like, scrolling social media. In fact, there was a period of time where I was getting on 2 or 3 times a day for 5 minutes, and that was it. Like, I would set a timer, and that was all, because I don't have time for that. And today, good gracious, I am not on Facebook today. Like, I mean, I'm on Facebook, clearly. This is a Facebook video. But I'm not scrolling my feed today because election, and let me just let you in on a little secret. It doesn't matter. I know. The God's in control. So, go vote. But God's still in control. And he's already preordained who's going to be president and everything else. So, Yeah, no, they were for real fighting. So, anyway, okay. Well, thanks for joining me. Oh, also, still screaming out there. Also, real quick, I'm figuring out how to put everything on YouTube. So in case any of you are like super nerdy and you just want to like see my face for hours at a time, you can just go to my YouTube channel once I get everything up there and figure out if the sound is synced properly. And then you can just look at my pretty face like all day on YouTube. It's going to be great. No, but seriously, then I'll be able to refer people back to the videos instead of like trying to scroll through and find where they are. So anyway, all right, I'm going to go for real now and just go kind of take care of whatever's going on out there and eat my chocolate because it's sitting here in front of me calling to me. You probably can't hear it, but it is actually calling to me. So what is it? Tuesday? It's Tuesday, you guys. We're having tacos tonight. We are. I've been eating pretty much Whole 30. Have you noticed I can't do a video on one single, topic? I have serious problems. I've been eating pretty much Whole 30 because I feel not great when I'm not doing it. Like this chocolate, for example, might give me a little bit of a stomachache, but it's chocolate. And we're having tacos tonight. So this is the first corn that I've had. So we'll see how it goes. Taco Tuesday. All right. Well, we'll see y'all later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.